Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today we're reviewing for you Denshattack on the Nintendo Switch 2. This review was originally written by the wonderful Ollie Reynolds and has been adapted for video by me. But anyway, that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things. From the moment we laid eyes on Denshattack, there was something about it that had us instantly enamored. Was it the Dreamcast-inspired bright blocky colours, the upbeat music, or the fact that you're pulling off sick tricks and grinding on rails in a flippin' train? Probably all three, come to think of it. The only sticking point was the gameplay. Would this offer depth and longevity to go with its stellar presentation, or would it be little more than a glorified knockoff of Subway Surfers? Well, we're happy to say that Denshattack is a joyous time that recaptures that distinctive early 2000s vibe of games like Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi. The downside is that it's surrounded by superfluous fluff that brings down the overall experience. As protagonist Emi Araki, you're pulled from your menial job as a ramen delivery driver to become a Denshattacker, thrust into a world where train drivers turn their vehicles into giant metaphorical skateboards to win races and score big points. You'll encounter a bunch of colourful and brash characters along your journey, but the narrative and copious dialogue sequences quickly outstay their welcome. In fact, it's a blessing you're able to skip the dialogue sequences altogether, as it became apparent within just a few levels that we just simply didn't care about the overarching narrative. You're given context behind the characters you're racing against and their place in the world, but it often feels like meaningless bloat, artificially extending what would otherwise be a slick, well-paced campaign. There's one specific level that contains an objective where you need to drop off passengers at stations dotted around the tracks, and despite the blatant nod to Crazy Taxi, this probably would have functioned well as the core hook of the entire game. Pick up passengers, drop them off, score points along the way, done. Instead, Denshattack gets a little bit too big for its boots, forcing itself to become something that it really didn't need to be. Thankfully, the gameplay itself is absolutely stellar. Levels mostly consist of set paths that you'll automatically follow from start to finish, and your job is to get there in one piece while making it look as stylish as possible. Starting with the basics, you'll learn how to boost round corners, jump over obstacles, and waggle the right analog stick in specific ways in order to pull off airborne tricks. As you progress, more abilities will be gradually introduced, like grinding on rails, wall riding, and breaking free from the tracks entirely for some freewheeling mayhem. It's the kind of experience that you're not going to nail straight away. You'll spend a good chunk of time careening off the tracks and into a cliffside, eventually winding up with an adequate yet deflating bronze medal at the end of each level. But that's the point. It takes time to get to grips with the mechanics, but once you feel that you've got a good handle on the basics, Denshattack introduces something new to keep you on your toes. Once it clicks, it's an intensely satisfying experience that begs to be replayed over and over to bag those coveted gold medals and beat your previous high score. Stringing tricks together perfectly is exhilarating, and this is enhanced further by special rainbow tracks that appear once you hit a certain combo level, letting you explore new routes and increase your score exponentially. And if that were all there is to it, repetition might rear its ugly head before too long. But thankfully, developer Undercoders has done well to ensure that each level has at least something unique to set it apart. You might find yourself navigating through a volcano and avoiding fireballs hurling towards you, riding atop a dislodged Ferris wheel, or collecting costume parts and making a cameo appearance in a kabuki play. Yes, that actually happens. It's delightful stuff, only enhanced by the excellent presentation. It's clear that Denshattack was built as an homage to Sega's Dreamcast era, evident in the bold contrast of blue skies and yellow carriages, with over-the-top special effects and striking black outlines. As far as music goes, it would have been nice to get a few licensed tracks in there to really nail that Crazy Taxi vibe, but the original tracks are pretty good for the most part. Some of the tunes even reminded us somewhat of Splatoon, which is high praise indeed. Crucially, it all runs very well on Switch 2, with minimal frame drops from the 60 FPS target and lightning-fast restarts whenever you crash out. It eradicates any sense of frustration when you're struggling with a particular level, as you can just keep respawning almost instantaneously without any real sense of punishment. Obviously, your overall performance at the end of each level will be affected, but practicing and learning from your mistakes has at least been made as painless as possible. Outside of the main levels, you'll also be given the opportunity to pimp out your train with new colors, patterns, stickers, and more. You'll unlock more as you progress, and whilst this is little more than an aesthetic choice, it's nice to add a little bit of personality to your ride. You've also got onsen levels, which serve as minor breaks from the action to explore character relationships as you relax in the hot springs. Sadly, this just goes back to our earlier point in which the game needlessly extends the overall runtime, which clocks in at about 10 to 15 hours, but thankfully you can just back out of these immediately if you don't wish to interact with them. Nice. Denshattack is an effective homage to Sega's Dreamcast era without feeling too derivative. Using a train, of all things, to pull off insane tricks and increase your score sounds utterly ridiculous on paper, but it all works very well. It's the kind of gameplay that invites you to play it again and again and perfect your runs and earn those lofty gold medals. It's just a shame that the core hook is surrounded by needless fluff that bloats the overall experience. Yes, you can skip most of it, but Denshattack would have shined even brighter had the devs leaned further into its arcade-style inspirations. Still, it's well worth a punt for its gameplay alone, and there's a strong foundation here to spawn an even better sequel in the future. Denshattack, you're getting an 8 out of 10 from us. You've reached the end of the review. That means it's time for Alex's personal thoughts, and admittedly, I haven't played this game nearly as much as Ollie has, so, take anything I'm about to say with a reasonable pinch of salt. That being said, I have been really enjoying my time with the game, but I can't help but agree with Ollie that the, narrative side of things is just... It's just kind of nothing-y in so many ways, which is a real shame, and it just feels like... I don't know. I mean, it feels like there were the best of intentions there to provide some, fun and interesting characters, but it's just not good enough to really grip me. And what I really want is not to gut it entirely, but I just wish it lent more into the kind of edgy side of that kind of era. The kind of like Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, even maybe a bit Sonic Adventure 2, that kind of edgy, sort of semi-self-aware, but, at the end of the day, these people are driving trains, and they're just like, whoa, watch out, I'm gonna do a trick, and it's like, it should be more intense. It should be like the most powerful grind imaginable, and sparks flying everywhere. More aggressive. I don't know whether that's just a me thing preference-wise, but I think it would have been a little bit more kind of self-aware and fun. Not to say that the game isn't self-aware, but I just wish they'd push that a little bit further. Because right now it just kind of feels a bit nothing-y. But the core gameplay, it is fantastic. I mean, I am no good at it whatsoever. I've got a few silver medals, but that's it. But I can't deny it's one of those things where I just want to keep playing the levels. I want to go around on the train and do the silly tricks and, sort of jump from rail to rail and get better and better at the game. It feels very, very classic in that sense. Very sort of Dreamcast, GameCube era. And for that, I think it's absolutely fantastic. They could have lent into it a little bit more, I feel. Maybe they were worried about, alienating people or something like that, I don't know. But either way, it's still worth your time, absolutely, but narrative-wise, it's no great shakes. But gameplay-wise, it is great shakes.